and welcome to the KFPL showcase feature between Ugluk and SadCryBear in the Battle of the Mad Lads. And I have with me a guest commentator, Run. Say hello.
Hey! What's going on? I'm so excited about this matchup.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun game. So both these guys are characters in the world of KFPL, as both of these people. It started with Ugluk. He was the first Mad Lad, and he basically came along and declined his, he rescinded his Season 2 qualification because he placed third in the league last season, winning him a cool $100 plus the prestige of being third place in a very competitive league. But he was already qualified for this season. He didn't have to do any quals, but he really wanted to play in the quals, and then eventually Rise from ABR and Anxious Pirate from the United Archons Prime baited him with some money and said, if you drop your qual right now and basically try to requal, we'll pay you this money if you requal. And he said, deal. And then in the second event after he made the deal, he requalified. So we decided we wanted to give him a title, and we gave him the title Mad Lad. Well, then, shortly after, SadCryBear won an event, and he was qualified for basically for Season 2. And the next week, he dropped it in a sealed tournament to try to requal. He didn't requal there, but he did requal the following week and became the second Mad Lad, which is a title you can only get if you've been qualified. You drop and you qualify again. So, yeah, that's the history of Mad Lad. I don't know if you knew about that, Run, but this is what we're into tonight. Mad Lad on Mad Lad. That is craziness.
I'm wondering if you chose me for this stream because you think I'm mad as well. But either way, I'm really excited to see these Mad Lads play these decks. Good Lord. These are amazing decks.
You're not late, are you, for a date?
Nope, not today.
Okay, so she's not a mad rabbit. We're good. She's not leading us down that hole. All right, cool. So the two people we have, basically, what we're going to do right now is we're going to do some comparative looks at the decks that they have. So we're going to start with SadCryBear, and SadCryBear is on Nazir Nazir the Cynic of Astrology, the Redeemer that runs at Rust, and Light Tasker Market Sheriff. So these are the three decks that he's bringing to the table, and we're going to have some discussion about it. I'm going to give a special shout out to one of these decks, Light Tasker Market Sheriff. As you can see, I am wearing a Snufflegator hoodie. This might not be from the owner, Justin Leza, from I don't know if I said his last name right. I probably didn't, but from one of the Tabletop Royale fellows. And Light Tasker is one of my favorite decks that Justin has played to Vault Tour winnings, and you can see it's got an 8-1 record. He pilots it quite well, and he was on Infernus before anybody else was on Infernus. Basically, this deck is absolutely gross, and it has a lot of things going for it. What did you see in your breakdown of Light Tasker, Run?
Oh my gosh, this deck. I mean, when you whoever opened this deck had to have been like, dear goodness, I've hit the jackpot. 24 of 36 of the cards are actually creatures, which, in the time that I feel like you open this deck, that may not have been necessarily a great thing. Because you're like, oh no, a really heavy creature that can oftentimes lead you down a rabbit hole when you have those. But all these creatures do the exact things that you want them to do. Mm-hmm. This deck, I found that unless you're playing a meme deck, you want the houses to do what they're known for. And if they get outside of that, the deck's just terrible. And you see that here. The houses just work. This has... I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong one, but that's still correct.
Yeah, there is this. You're not wrong yet.
Well, everything I was saying is true of this one. So you have double Infernace and Hysteria. So you have the interruption that you want with the Amber control coming off of the Infernaces. You're purging cards from combos. So everything that you want this to do is disruption. So that's really great. You have also in this deck with the double library, you have a way to archive that you didn't normally have in this, so that's really excellent. And this actually has 13 cards that have Amber control value. So most likely you have 2 cards in your hand at any given moment that actually, or I'm sorry, 1 and 3 cards that are going to be doing amber control. That's insane, like insane. So those were kind of some of the pickups that I found. Was there anything that you noticed on here? I mean, this is just a nuts deck, so it's kind of easy, I feel like, to pull out some crazy stuff.
I like this deck mostly because it has snags and stuff that basically are going to give you a lot of control. They're kind of like a control of the week on a stick, basically. I like that card a lot, and he has 2 of them to go with his 2 Infernuses, to go with his 2 Library of the Dams, which are incredible amount of archiving. Like the Distant House is just great. And then the cool thing is even though he has 24 creatures, all of the creatures have a large, like when they come into play, they're going to have an effect, or if they stay on the board too long, they're going to have an effect. So I like there's just like a lot of good things going on here. And I think that this deck is just, it's like 80, even at 83 SAS, it feels like a little low. Right? Like this deck just has a lot of tools, and I think it's gonna bring out some real issues for people if they have to play against it.
Yeah.
It's just what it is.
I mean, it just has so much of everything that you want to see. I mean, some MVP cards, like the Snecklifter, for instance, is nuts having that. And then, you've got your Tau Vapors and just so many other, Too Much to Protect. You have your Kymor Eclipse to get some stuff off the board. I mean, this deck is pretty sick. I'm excited to see if it gets played or not.
Yeah, well, only Ugluk would know. Only Ugluk would know.
Right.
But let's move to Mass Mutations, and this is a set that you're not overly familiar with yet. You've done your homework, I know. So but this deck is kind of a problem in its own right as well, because it's an auto-encoder Lithologica deck with lots of speed towards the Ultra Graviton. The Ultra Graviton basically being a archiving engine that gets you 5 archives just for getting it into play. So there's a lot of things that are just going for pure value in the Logos house here. And then when you move into the Saurian house, you have a lot of creatures that are going to grab pips and stuff, but not at an overly aggressive rate, which I kind of really like, because I don't like when Saurians have to go in real deep and gamble with what they're going to do. But even with what they have here, he has the Citizen Shrix, he has the Therio Centurions and stuff like that. They give you a pretty good balance of what happens. And then he has that Humble as well if something does get too deep, and he has the chance to move the Amber around. Then you have the Axiom to help with the board wipe. So pretty solid Saurian house there. But then when you look into the Untamed, you see the real threat here in the card called Vault Blessing. If you play against Mass Mutations with a Vault Blessing, not so bad. You could probably get away. It's not as crazy a card because your opponent probably has a couple mutants and stuff, to go with it. But here you see there's 10 mutants in this deck, and you see that there is Vault Blessing. So if this deck gets paired off against anything that's not Mass Mutations, it's going to have a really high Amber Burst, and I think that that's a very dangerous thing as well. And it does have the Reclaimed by Nature for artifact control, has the Rapid Evolution to make that Pismire really big and sticky. There's a lot of cool little things here in this deck that could be seen as a nuisance as well. So we'll see what happens with that one. But what did I miss something? What do you like?
Yeah. I think that you hit it pretty well. I mean, the exciting thing is to see when you have these big bursts like we see in Untamed, and then you see a way to archive them, is absolutely fantastic. So we see that Graviton, and then we have these auto encoders and things like that are going to be able to get those cards into the archives and go for the big burst. And in the meantime, you've got the Saurians that are going to be able to capture and control Amber really well, and the Axiom to hopefully keep the board pretty clear until you can get that Ultra Graviton down. So I think you covered it. This is a really neat Mass Mutation deck for sure.
So why don't you take us into Nazir, the Cynic of Astrology, and tell us what you can see in the stars?
Can I just say I'm so excited that there's an AOA deck, because that was my set. That was the set that I kind of cut my teeth on. I learned Keyforge in a more competitive way, so I'm really excited to see this. It's a Logos Dish Shadows deck, and it's let's see, Nazir. Let me grab this real quick, but it has really interesting cards all the way around. Like we have some binding irons to give some disruption, some unlock gateways. I mean, it's really doing the disc thing and just pulling, like 3 fates, Onyx Knight. So it's really going to keep that board clear. You've got Tesmal to do some disruption with houses. The Shadows does some work to really be able to control anytime you're playing those Shadows down. You're pretty much stealing with a Nerve Blast, or you're grabbing some Amber with the Furtive Investors, whether that's just the Amber Pip or more based on what's going on in the game at that point. So I love that you have so much archiving in this, so you can keep the board clear with the disc, then you can try to get this logos down to draw cards, get them in your archive, and then try to steal a bunch with your Shadows. I mean, this is really exciting because it just works so well. You can see the A, B, and C of the deck, if you will.
Yeah, I think that Shadows is cool because like they have Bren the Fanatic as well with Life for a Life combo. So like you have a way to get rid of your Bren to get that 3 Amber back quickly. A lot of times you see Bren kind of trapped in Shadows, and he doesn't have a good way out. Here he has a great way out. Like he's basically gonna get you Amber, and it's gonna kill something. So I like that aspect. And then the Logos house is actually the most impressive house to me. I like it a lot with the double Archimedes, the Sutterkin, in the Titan, the Librarian, the Researcher. Like there's a lot of like manipulation happening there with the Igor as well to get deep into the deck, but it also has one of the best and one of my most favorite like opening cards in the game, and that's Eureka. That card can really swing some tempo hardcore early on, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. And then we have this card called Master of Theory. Basically, if there are no friendly creatures in play, you may archive a card for each enemy creature. That's going to be pretty relevant if he is going hard on early on with this to just like wipe creatures out. Then if their opponent finds a way to kind of come in and get a big board state, he can really knock a lot of cards into the archive basically off of a big board state, and then use it, like come back the next turn and wipe the board state. Especially with Archimedes putting things in. So he's got a lot of archive tools and a lot of ways to get things out of the way and kind of get to his kill shot basically as fast as possible, whether that be locking down the board and just like winning with his shadow creatures and getting advantage that way, or making real good use of those Furtive Investors. I know this is a card that not a lot of people probably see a lot, but if your opponent has more Amber than you, gain 1. So it's a catch-up mechanic. Basically for every key that you're behind, so you can really get a lot of value to catch up in here. And I think what this deck is looking to do is go late game and just basically win by keeping control of the game and then making its rush a little bit later in the game and just holding the board. So and the Tesmal probably could help with that too if you get deep enough into their pool. So there's just a lot of cool little things here, and being 76 sash, you got to cheer for the underdog, especially in AOA with AOA tag on it. So
you do.
But usually a 76 AOA plays a bit better than a 76 in any other set. So we'll see what happens here. But those are the 3 decks that we have for SadCryBear. So you tell me now, what do you think is the ban here if you were Ugluk?
Well, we're just examining these 3 decks. I mean, Life Tasker every time probably. But I really feel like it's going to depend on what we see from the other side of the decks, because, I mean, the Nazir with all of the disruption from Dis, if you're trying to play a Mass Mutation, board or a Worlds Collide, you're not going to get too far if they're constantly clearing your boards. So I think I'm going to say Life Tasker, though. I mean, it's just such a solid pick.
I have to agree with Light Tasker. I don't see any way in any scenario that I would ever want to not get rid of Light Tasker, because there's just too many tools. It's too good. I think the control factor of the card is redonkulous. So I don't know if there's another choice here, and I think SadCryBear might actually know that. Like, right? I think that he might have used this with very like deliberate manner to say, you know what, I'm going to know that this is going to get banned. But with Ugluk being a savvy veteran, if he thinks that there's a better like thing to get rid of, like maybe he doesn't want to play the Mass Mutations matchup, right? Like maybe he doesn't want to see that, or he thinks that his mass mutation will be off the table, so that's a free win or something. Maybe Ugluk gets crafty and goes, well, maybe he hasn't practiced with Light Tasker, right? And this is kind of the fun of this, I think, is that he might just go off on a wall and be like, go ahead, play Light Tasker. Let's see how good you can pilot it, because you're not Justin, right? It's a viable tactic, right? Like, it's something that could happen. So, with all that said, why don't we take a look at King Ugluk's decks and see what the Mad Lad has in store for the SadCryBear. And let me make sure that we switch this one over this time. I was a little bit late last time.
Good job doing good things.
Yeah, trying. All right, so this one looks like the overlay is a little bit weak. Let me see if I can make this bigger. But so why don't you talk us through the initial of the 3 decks? I know you have something you want to say about the Sad Panda.
Okay, so we're going to Sad Panda. Okay.
No, we can go to all 3 of them and introduce all 3.
Oh, okay. I did have to tell you on my initial inspection of the decks, when you told me that the Sad Panda deck, that's what it translated to, I said, it is ironic that he is playing a Sad Panda deck against SadCryBear. I found that really funny. So, but let's see. Do you want to go to, since we're talking about Sad Panda, do you want to go ahead and go to that deck?
Knock it out. Like, this is a mass mutation, so I'll take lead just to make it a little bit easier. But this deck basically thrives on control and speed, right? Like, this deck, the highlight of this deck is the Eaton's Jar. If it comes down early, we've seen it absolutely devastate people. But on the other side, you have Auto Encoder, which is going to basically put you through the mill in the amount of card draw that you're going to get off the Auto Encoder. You have Captain Val Jericho for super, like, versatility and house crossing. You have the Essence Scale, which basically is used to manipulate like some of the creatures in the game as they move along as well. You also have Transporter Platform with Armory Officer Nell, which is going to make use of all the pips that are on all of the upgrades, right? And if you look at his actual picture for his upgrade pictures, you'll notice that like all of his upgrades have incredible amounts of value on their when they come into play. Like there's basically like Amber and a capture, and there's Amber and a damage, and there's Amber and a draw. Like it's kind of crazy like how this deck plays, and it's super fast. Like it just continues to pour pressure out at a rate that most people can't handle. Makes the best use of Auto Encoder that I've seen from most decks, and it backs it all up with an Eaton's Jar for control, Obsidian Forge for value for all these creatures that are hitting the board, and Gateway to Dis in case for some reason you get ahead. So this deck is pretty just gross. Like
it does. Yeah, it's gross.
There's nothing really sad about this panda. He's probably pretty happy, unless he's a really empathetic, unless he's a really sympathetic one, and like maybe he's Canadian and he says sorry every time he hurts somebody, but like I don't know.
I don't think that's how that works.
No,
just saying.
Maybe not.
I think it's interesting. Reverse Time is making an appearance in this deck, and I think that's a really super duper interesting card in this set, and let alone in this deck. Like I'm excited to see how that ends up getting used, and like kind of what that trigger point will be when Reverse Time becomes a good idea. So excited to see that.
Yeah, Reverse Time is kind of like a forgotten about card now because it basically has disappeared with library access kind of going out. It's not just, it's a little bit harder to make good again. So it is interesting to see it here. And with the amount of discard and stuff that you have, like you can kind of really set up turns with that too. It's a kind of a tricky tactic card, right? So
well, I was thinking with your Infernuses, if like you get them off the board and then you're able to like get them shuffled in, or how, I don't know. There's got to be some like tricky plays with this Reverse Time. I'm excited to see. I'll have to think it out a little more. Maybe we'll just see it in the game. But that's pretty good. That's got to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, like how familiar are you with Auto Encoder? Because that's the card that really makes the use out of that, because the Auto Encoder is going to give you like the ability to pitch cards to put cards in the archive, right? And so then when you do that, you can basically pitch a bunch of cards to put cards in the
Mhm.
archive, and then you can come back and use a reverse time to put those pitch cards. Like you could just do all kinds of stupid things.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
you'll see.
Yes.
You'll see. I'm sure Ugluk will pilot it just as well as Jason does. And I'm pretty certain that if it doesn't get banned, it's going to be quite the hell for somebody. So, but that with
And
that
an
said, oh sorry.
interesting fact here, while I'm looking at it, there's only 6.3 in amber control.
Hmm.
That's really interesting for this, how this is going to match up, especially compared to some of our other decks where, there's 13 amber control, or I'm sorry, there's like 13 cards that have amber control, whereas this is only expected 6.3, meaning that there's only like the two Infernaces, the
Hmm.
Wall of Darned, Mind Fire, Drekker, and Access Denied, technically. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to kind of see how this deck works around high value
Hmm.
amber control.
Hmm.
So,
Well, Jason is in the chat, and he's the owner of this deck. And he has basically told you right here, the reverse time and the
oh,
auto encoder are broken in Sad Panda. You draw 10 plus cards off of Nell, then they blow up Nell, and then you reverse time and discard all your logos cards to pull the Star Alliance combo off all over again. So that's the kind of thing that you get that with play, but I'm pretty sure Ugluk is ready. I'm
I
sure I'm
can't
sure
wait to
they
do this.
I'm sure they put him through the Rocky training, and they're basically going for broke and stuff. So, all right,
That's awesome.
so that's enough about the sad panda. He's not a sad panda. I don't care what they tell me. So why don't you pick one of the other two decks to talk about, and we'll see where we go.
Okay. I think I have the Redeemer here.
Hmm. The
A
redeem
Redeemer.
the rede-
No,
no
that's the wrong one. That's the
yeah.
other one. Hold on. Sorry, bear with me, guys.
I was gonna say
Okay.
you can either go to Jason or you can go to the Vane Praetor.
Let's go to the Vein Praetor.
I know this
Yeah.
deck. I know this deck quite well because I had my eyes on this deck as well, and I bowed out in the thing because I wanted the person that was selling it, Mark H, to make extra money off of it and not be greedy and make the extra money off it because Jason was very aggressive about getting it. So I did tip my hat to him and let him have it, and I kind of regret it. Like I wish I had just kept it. But but to be fair, I could have gone to a nicer guy, and I love Jason, so it's not a big deal. So but I do miss this deck because of the ghost form. But but I'll let you say your
Oh,
piece about it.
I've yet to open a deck with Ghost Form in it, and it makes me sad. I mean, this deck looks amazing. Although it has my probably like top 5 least favorite cards in there, which is General Order 24. So
Whoa! Time out! Time
yeah, I
out!
know,
I'm calling
I
time out.
know.
That card is great. I love that card. It's such a tempo-y card, but I'll let you go
Oh,
now.
but it's so complicated, like especially for a slower player like me. Like I tend to play very slowly, and so General Order 24 adding that extra element in just kills me. I mean, it's fine, I guess, when you have it in your own deck, but when you see it in somebody else's, it's literally like the bane of my existence.
Yeah. Ghost form here on Edai with a Order 24 is like almost game over. It's
Yeah,
like,
this deck is sick in itself. 85 SAS, guys. 85. Like, take that to the bank. It's just got a lot of great stuff in it. Sinister Strix is here, City State Interest, Axiom, and like all of the great stuff that comes in Worlds Collide, the Eddies, sorry. But I mean, I think I would probably be most excited about this like ghost form, because what could you really, I mean, like, I mean, you could do some crazy things. I don't even know what you're going to be doing with it, but you're going to be doing something like insane with this ghost form, I feel like.
yeah, you're gonna put it on Edai and you're gonna watch it
Yeah.
win.
Make it so that their keys cost 9 million.
It's gonna be
Like,
great.
I want to know who owns this deck. What's the highest you've ever gotten the key up to?
That'd be Jason. He's in chat. He probably could give you the
Oh, yeah,
number,
you
but
said that. Sorry.
the number on that would be pretty insane. I bet you he could probably get it up to like in the
Yeah,
double
this
double
one is
digits.
outrageous. I'm excited. all of these decks are the decks that make you like want to watch the match as well as want to play the match. This is exciting here.
He said 60 plus.
Oh God. So basically game over.
I mean, he archives everything. That's what this deck does. Like Knowledge is Power, Tato Vapors, like E-Dies, like yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe this deck's overrated. I mean, 60 plus cost keys, that's easy, right?
Yeah.
Good Lord. I'm excited for this deck. Okay.
Dave laughing with his Caruso background, saying that that's weak because Caruso has 5 E-Dies, 3 Exhumes, or something crazy like that, and he basically just makes crazy value. That's great. Nobody's gonna play Caruso either.
Double-digit keys are casual. Get out of here. That's awesome.
Yeah, but so that's the warm up on the Vein Braider. The Vein Braider is just a sick deck. This deck makes me sad. I should have kept it.
Yeah.
dropping the quadricorder on the ghost formed E-Die, that's just like really insulting as well. Like there's all kinds of there's so many things you can do to make people feel really regret. The only hope for that is that your opponent is playing bounce, and then you could kind of deal with the ghost form. But if they don't have any bounce, sorry, you should have been down with heavy D, but you weren't.
On April Fools, I'm gonna go sit in casual with this deck.
Yeah, you're just gonna make people mad, and they're gonna rage.
Yeah, people are gonna hate me. Let's see. Okay, so moving on to Jason. Sorry.
So how much do you like Jason? How nice is this Jason deck?
I will tell you in just a second because I definitely pulled up the wrong deck. Okay. There's Mars in it. Aww. Oh my goodness.
So would you say you love Jason?
I feel like this is a trap.
It's totally a trap. I was gonna say he's married. Just kidding.
No, you're gonna get my butt kicked.
No, he knows I'm playing with him. We're just having a good time.
Yeah. This deck looks like a lot of fun. Triple Professor Sutterkins, with the helper bot. Man, this looks like fun. Archimedes is in here. Eureka, your favorite turn 1, right? I mean, who doesn't have a favorite turn 1 that starts with Eureka? Triple Schuler. Oh, no, not Restringed. I can't ever say his name, sorry. But, oh my god, that card. I have nightmares about that card from being locked out of games.
Yep, so, sorry.
Oh, that's okay. We've also got Rocky up here. Yep. So that's an annoying card as well. A lot of disruption here in this. Oh no, not a life ward. Yep, that's a life ward too. This is a really solid deck. Good night. It's an 86 SAS. That's crazy. 21 speed. Wow, 31 board presence. Yeah, let's go on this one.
Yeah, so this deck is really good. I think that this is a very nice AOA deck, right? Like double generosity, like you're gonna get tons of value. You're gonna be okay. I think Harlan likes it. He's over here cheering for it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. Right. So I'm setting up the bands right now. So.
Yep, I see that. I think that we probably, if I'm gonna guess, although I think that the bands are like coming across my screen, but I'm thinking we see Sad Panda is getting, or well, was it Sad Panda or was it the other one? Not Sad Panda. It was Praetor. I think we see Praetor get banned here.
Praetor, eh? And what makes you think Praetor?
The 60 plus cost keys. I mean,
so if he has no way to bounce, then yeah, I think Praetor is what he'll go with. But I don't remember exactly if he had a way to bounce in the 2 decks. But if not, I could see him taking a chance against Praetor and trying to like get the most advantage out of his Mass Mutations deck with all the Vault Blessing stuff. And basically try to high roll that. So I would probably not want to play against Sad Panda. But again, like that's with me looking and saying like, well, what deck am I really gonna have the best matchup
Yeah.
against, and I didn't play these, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I now that I think about it too, I think Live Tasker, if that would not get banned with that Sneck Lifter, it would make make it like. Well, I say that. No, I don't think that. Just kidding. Ignore me. I was thinking of something else. But yeah, I mean, I just think all of these are good bands.
Yep. So I have Ugluk's ban, and now I'm waiting on SadCryBear's and stop, Harlan. Harlan is bombing me. I don't know. What? All right. So what we're looking at right now is a surprise to me in some aspects, but not totally, because like I said, all three of these decks could get banned. It was just really a where does he want to put his hat down? And so for Ugluk, the ban is, drum roll please. No, that's not even a question. It's definitely Light Tasker. And then, but the surprise of the night is the Mad Lad SadCryBear going with neither. He scoffs at you and me. And goes and bans Jason. Does not want to deal with the speed of double generosity. So I don't blame him, honestly, but I don't think there was really a right pick for this. So with that said, those are the two bans that we're going to get. And I'm going to transition off of this into the to the matchup. This is what we're here to look at, folks. And we will be getting going soon as I set what they are going to actually play.
Well, that was an interesting ban. I'm not necessarily surprised. Martian Generosity can do crazy things, and if your deck's like super steel heavy, which his are, the Martian Generosity tends to take away that amber. So I could see where his maybe the mind something was from.
No, I mean he's.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So. Yep. So. Yeah. So SadCryBear was like, which one was it? I was like, light.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so he's playing. I know what he's playing now. I just need Ugluk to step over. No, we play closed hands. I don't do time delay, so you can play in closed hands. It's more fun when we can actually interact with the people talking in chat. As long as people aren't throwing coaching up, I don't care. Like that's like one thing. Like we can react to what they're playing, but don't like try not to be like this is where it's gonna go. Like try to just be reactive versus proactive. In the sense that we don't want to tip off too much in case somebody is listening, right? I'm not saying they will be. Ugluk, what deck are you picking?
I will do my very best.
Yep. So.
Although I don't think that anybody is going to be taking coaching tips from me today, so I think we're solid. He'd never get to play it. That's funny. Yeah. I think, Joel, I think you're right. I think that would immediately know that you can practice the other two decks constantly and not have to worry about knowing three.
So our first matchup is going to be Praetor versus Nazir. So we're going to get to that as that is going to be it. They did put the link in the in our chat for us there, Run. So let's get in there. Password is attached to what they have there as well. We'll wait for you to show up, and then we'll get this, we'll get this party on the road. But for all of you guys that don't know, and are here just now tuning in, this is the Mad Lad versus Mad Lad showdown. My co-host here is Miss Run. She is one of my favorite people to talk to at this moment on online, and she has her own streaming channel. What is RBG_Run? He said, or is that what it is?
It's for Twitch. It's Run He Said, and for my Twitter handle, it's RBG_Run He Said.
So make sure to give her a follow and a like. We're gonna get some of these events onto her channel soon. Tap into that. She actually runs multiple games. But she's a up and coming streamer, and she's really fun to watch and to hang out with. And Harlan has got me on the writing duties already tonight. So he is going to be all over the place. But with all that said, let's get into this match number 1 and who will gain the advantage. Let's get to the action and find out.
Let's go.
All right, so we are ready to get this show on the road. Let me tell the boys.
Maddest lad. I like it.
Who's the maddest lad?
The title.
Yeah, okay.
There we go.
All right, no pressure, guys. This is all about who is the maddest of the laddest. And we are going to see quite the game. I have a feeling. So let's see what will come of this. I forgot to change my my background, so we're going to get bored in the stockpiles for this round.
Not a bad one at all.
Pin on. What?
Pin on. Let's see. SadCryBear won the coin flip, so we'll go first.
So it'll be interesting to see how SadCry's list is going to deal with the ghost forms, because he doesn't really have a.
May your ghost forms always find its and I. All right, and a turn 1 Tesmal is a great start for SadCryBear.
It is actually interesting. It's not a bad play, but quickly answered with Saurian.
Yep, Saurian comes down with a stomp. So nice little Amber Pip there, as well as getting rid of that Tesmal with a Brutodon Auxiliary coming out. Nice chunky body to start with.
Are you saying he's overweight?
In a good way.
Oh, okay.
A thick boy. Thick boy, you know?
Also, we see the Onyx Knight with the Dust Imp with Pain Reactive, so like we're seeing a little bit of a slow Amber push, so. But that's not to be unexpected with the amount of reaction that comes with this deck, so.
And we do see Ugluk throwing down Star Alliance's Trim around with a nice Kirby, as well as Kirby's Blaster right off the bat. Feels good, man. With the ability to play down the Pocket Universe and a Tactical Officer Moon. So quite a nice play here for Ugluk on this one. Okay, and we do see SadCryBear calling Logos. Getting up to 4 Amber that turn.
Yeah.
SadCryBear is going to play very fast.
that Kirby is pretty dangerous. It does give good value and a lot of swing for the spell power that could come like from the Star Alliance house. So there's just so many things that Praetor could be doing. So. We see the Edai. No ghost
Edai and Apsis come down.
So, like, if he draws into ghost form, he could basically get to ghost form through either the Logos turn or the Star Alliance turn. So, at this point, so that's the value of Kirby there. So that'll be interesting to see what happens. But SadCryBear is doing his best impression to keep things off the board and get that Amber count high. So
we do see him rush up here to 8 Amber. So he has declared check as well as cleared that board. So got the Edai off, but we see another one come down, and there's that ghost form, guys. Exactly what he wanted to see. Ouch,
Yeah.
ouch, ouch.
It's like one key that's going to be expensive for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But he did get to one key, so that's good.
So currently keys are at +2 because there are 2 cards in the archive. So at 8, he also has 2 amber there on the Pocket Universe.
He says, "Hi, Ghost Edie." Edie. I guess that's what you call a haunting experience.
We do see him go ahead and forge his red key here. And he's going to call Logos and play down a memory chip and an Igor to look at the top 3 cards of his deck.
Yes, Dave, this is run. She's like, "Is that run?" It's like, yes,
Yes,
this is the
it's
run.
me. I'm here. That's a nice turn. We see that Archimedes come down with the Titan Librarian and the Professor Sutterkin. So a nice turn here to be able to really set himself up for some big movement next turn to draw a lot of cards in memory chip, unless it gets answered by Ugluk.
I think we're going to just start to see more and more like of that Edie manipulation.
Edie.
Yeah, Edie.
I have called him Eddie since the set came out. I feel so bad.
Edie could be wrong. Trust me, I say things wrong.
Oh no, I think you're right. And we do see Red Alert come down here and destroy that oh so pretty board that SadCryBear had built. So,
Now we see the quadricorder strapped on for fun too.
insult to injury on this one.
Yeah, it's quadricorder. So now his keys are permanently stuck at least 7.
Permanently.
PH. Yeah, there's nothing he has that answers that. Other than making more amber. It's like, this is where amber denial and just keep going. Like, keep putting as much amber down as you can, because that's what you have to do. But city-state interest is still there. There's all kinds of little tricks and traps. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens here. General Order 24. Once that hits the board, it's gonna do some evil things as well with that Edie.
Evil. That card is evil. Somebody
it's like you never get creatures again after that. So.
And somebody in Fantasy Flights is an evil person.
I mean, they did make Heart of the Forest, right? Like.
But they learned from their mistakes. I will give them that.
Did they? It's still a legal card. Like, they haven't done anything to stop it.
True that. So we do see Imperium come down here with a solid Saurian's Churn.
Mm-hmm. Protecting that amber.
We're going all over the place. You get an amber, and you get an amber.
And now nothing on my board is killable in one shot.
Yep.
Cease Forge with, like, a word. Yeah, there's some interesting things coming out with Dark Tidings that I've seen. Like, it's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, I'm excited to take a deeper dive in that and find out all the nuances of it.
Yeah. Well, I have 10 boxes of Worlds Collide coming that I'll be doing openings for on stream.
Oh, I'm so jelly. So we see SadCryBear chose Shadows here as his active house. It's definitely harder for SadCryBear to do the things that he wants to do when Shadows can't steal anything. So, but I bet we see a good action here. You're going to see Mac the Knife come down, pop those wards. That's a nice card for this set here.
Yeah, that Trix is troublesome. But not as troublesome as the Tribune Pompitus, who's giving and feeding these creatures to be bigger. Because, like, City-State hits here, like, all these creatures get way bigger, like, and then it's kind of scary. But he does have, like, a lot of board removal with his Dis house, so, like, there is the chance that he can rip, some of this stuff back. But
The discs don't care how big you are. The bigger you are, the harder you fall. Unlock gateway. Come on now.
Just don't care. I like it. Maybe that's why they're getting sat out this next round, because everybody's like, they're like just sick of people playing disc and logo, so those are the next two shots. Like, get rid of these two houses. We don't need these houses anymore.
I've seen some in the community asking for logos to go, and it just makes me want to cry slightly on the inside because I love logos so much.
I think Logos is out when the airborne people show up. I think that will be the technology house at that point. But we'll find out. It'll be interesting.
I can't wait to see. So we do see a Logos turn there with several cards played. Information exchange, cutthroat research. Was that Tao in this turn as well as knowledge is power?
Yeah.
So a lot.
So a lot of archiving and just amber manipulation. Like, he's up to 6. He's put himself on check, and you can see that his archive is only getting bigger.
Yep. Definitely did that. So Ugluk has a lot of amber control here, so should be able to find an answer to this key on this turn as well. So interesting, goes with Logos.
Yeah, Logos is going to be bonkers. Z is in the stream chilling. But yeah, I guess it's like their like big farewell, right? Like, they're gonna be like, oh, here's an awesome Logos. Oh, by the way, Logos is gone next time we get rid of something.
No, they can't do it to us. We might cry.
Did they really reprint Phase Shift?
No.
Justice Blinded said, sure, let's reprint it.
Sure.
and Kirby? What?
Oh my god.
I don't look at spoilers. And Data Forge? What?
Who did this? I want answers.
Yeah, I just usually don't look at spoilers, but that's gross. Oh my god, I can't wait for Dark Tidings. I need to put it in order.
It's gonna be great. Okay, so back to the game. Ugluk does get forge his first key, the blue key. So keys are now 1 and 1. Amber sitting at 4 and 2 to SadCryBear.
I think Ghost Form Edai is about as fun as Heart of the Forest.
I mean, it does take a little bit of actual gameplay, though, to get that happening, I suppose. Like, you have to be able to acknowledge that that's a combo. So, I mean, there's some skill to that, whereas Heart of the Forest is just throw it down and it does something.
I mean, he just threw down the Edai, and it's like, there's no bounce, you're out, you're done.
Well, not done, but definitely gonna make it pretty hard.
Yeah, I'm gonna say you're in a pretty hard spot.
I mean, we're already sitting at what? Keys are at plus 10. Or not plus 10, but sitting
plus
at 10.
5.
So.
Plus 5. It's 11.
11. Okay. Woo.
And Odak just showed up to say no more stealing.
Odak is a great counter to Shadow's steal, unfortunately.
Stealth mode.
I'm pretty sure they were like, how do we screw Shadows over? Oh, let's make a card called Odak.
Wow. I mean, it's necessary. That and Ludo are very necessary for Saurians. Ludo is more important, but Odak is pretty important too.
Yeah.
Ugluk best triad in this league, not close. Best player too, or Fierce, I don't know. Dave saying this when he is like a triad god, so I'm feeling some deflection here from Dave, trying to get some of that kudos off of him.
Hey, I like it. Good on Dave. Let's see. Commander Chan is so much fun. I love it. The information officer, great. I have some fun decks with him, so glad to see that. That's a fun card.
I'm a big fan of the ZYX researcher. That card is really like well played when it's well played. Like it does a lot of things for a lot of decks. I don't think he's going to be super value here, but like there's a lot of combo decks like Genka decks and things like that make use of him in ways that are very creative. So
yes, it reminds me of almost a better well, not maybe better, but the Mars card where you can archive a Mars card. When you read, what is his name?
The Think Drone.
Is it Think? No, Think Drone's an active card. I'm thinking of the discard pile. But kind of almost like that feel to the card. So. Oh, there's the bane of my existence, by the way.
Execute General Order 24.
The bane of my existence is,
Star Wars in the house.
Here.
I think General Order 24 might have bias for me, like for my like of it, because I am a Star Wars mark. So like it could be that too.
I mean, in that sense, I guess, but
it's also just a really good card. It's technical. Like
it is.
It's like creatures do not hit the board anymore. Like
it definitely makes you a better player. I think so. Like there are cards that come out that make you a better player. I think General Order does that definitely.
Yeah.
Like
it only costs you 19 at this point to make a key, SadCryBear.
Yep.
Only 19.
That's not that bad. Come on now. Who can't come up with 19, Amber?
Most decks.
We do see, by the way, Ugluk has forged his second key here. Keys for poor SadCryBear are 19.
Mm-hmm.
So this is could be a little crazy, but he's at 12. He's at 12, so he's getting closer.
It's like, what will happen next? We don't know.
Ronnie's going to come down. Sorry. Ronnie is down. I apologize. I got a little off on my counting there. So Cutthroat Research comes down, and then we see an Edai. Yeah. Apsis there gets warded.
Just like Eddie said, you're not going to forge any keys today.
Mm-hmm. None for you.
All right, so SadCryBear taps out. The Machka kick puts him down, and he doesn't want to deal with this silly board state anymore. Can't blame the guy for that. So we are going to...
Nope, not at all.
We are going to get set up for game number 222. What did you think of that game? How fun was that? Like, Heart of the Forest fun, or was that exciting to you?
I have not seen that deck played before, so it was really interesting. And as I said, Logos is kind of my house, so seeing the Logos do the fun things was kind of interesting. But it felt so bad watching SadCryBear have 13, 11, 12 Amber and not be able to forge a key.
Yeah, I agree. It can get pretty sad. SadCryBear. Sad. All right.
Well, hopefully this game will turn around for SadCryBear next round, and he will be happy CryBear.
Yeah, I'm trying to get into the game right now, but...
Oh, whoops. I should actually leave. That was super bad jokes. It's only for you guys. I saved them all for Keyforge.
Am I not typing the word in right? Like this password?
There we go. Found it.
I'm not getting in though. Watch. Why is this thing not letting me get in? Let's refresh. Okay. Alright, this is getting annoying. Oh wait, you know what? I bet because I can't see. Let me see. Okay, yeah. So my caps lock was
Unarmed Goat. I think he banned was it Praetor?
Light Tasker and Jason were the two bans.
Oh yeah, Jason. Okay. That's right. So those were the bans, and it was a little surprising that this Light Tasker did not get banned. Or I'm sorry. What was that last one? That was not Light Tasker. That was Sad Panda, wasn't it? Nope. I give up. I'm gonna stop trying.
What was the question?
I'm going to stop trying.
Light Tasker was banned on SadCryBear, and Jason was banned on the other side. Jason, whatever.
Yes, but I was trying to say what deck that was.
Ah. All right, there I am. I figured it out. I just had to go in and refresh the whole server because it was holding me back just a bit. But we are basically going to get ready for round 2. On the ropes is the SadCryBear in this Battle of the Mad Lads. Will he respond or go home? That is the question, and here we come. Who's excited for this? Let's do it. So we see that Nazir is back for round 2. He wants to play this deck again. He could have changed, but he will be playing against the Sad Panda. And we're gonna. I think this was a mistake not to ban this, but I could be wrong. but we'll see what happens.
I mean, I don't know that you could really.
Oh, they
make a horrible choice here. These decks are ridiculous.
Yeah, so they're leaving the game because I'm pretty sure that SadCryBear wants to be in position, like a certain. He either wants to play first or not. I didn't see what the interaction was, but we're gonna have to re-queue up. Yeah, re-queue up. Get back in there. Could do this again. We could do this again just for the extra effect. Round 2 on the ropes. Is he gonna respond or go home?
Ooh. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Yeah, it wasn't long enough.
That is a exclusive just for you guys. We are bringing the heat with the music.
Run is right. That's what Bizarro Dave said. He said, Eric, run is right. So.
Well, I bet that Dave makes a good husband then, because that's how it always.
It's because Jason, because Eric said Jason was banned, and he's like, oh no, Jay Power will miss you, and he's like, not to be confused with the member Jason who was not banned, and Eric's like, run is right. So he's like, those were unrelated statements.
Yeah.
Oh, Dave. But all right, we're good to go. We can go ahead. Or they left again. I guess they have not got there yet.
Did they?
We're playing the TCO tag game. You guys are all familiar with this one, right? Like the one where basically people want to get to play first, and TCO doesn't ever let them. And instead of making it so you can just hit a button to say, "Hey, I'll let my other person play."
I should just stop joining until we know.
Alright, Ugluk brings SadCryBear won the flip. Woo.
Oh, there we go.
Alright.
Huzzah!
Huzzah! The one time I didn't open it all up. I was like, yeah, okay, go. Oh yeah, you got there. Alright, so for reals this time. Round 2 on the ropes. So will you respond or go home? I'm gonna use that 3 times now just because I can. And if you guys didn't notice, there was 2 keys in the live screen because this is round 2. So haha, for round 3 there'll be 3 little things, details. I get bored. Yeah, we're all in. We're good to go. Let's get this game.
Excuse me. Yep.
So this is where we're basically hoping that SadCryBear comes out like Rocky, because he got beat up pretty bad, like Rocky 1.
Yeah. This is definitely going to be a fun deck to watch, though. A lot of steel here. A lot of ways to gain. We've got a ton of. So he's playing Nazir, right? So he's got a ton of disruption. The unlocked gateway is going to be good.
He's able to hit his Tesmal right off the go. But here comes Captain Val Jericho, the baddest bee in the game.
For real.
Love me some Jericho.
He is legit.
Oh, there's the Eaton's Jar. Fervent investors. So there's 3 dead cards in his deck already.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I don't believe, if I remember correctly, I don't think this deck actually had any type of artifact control. So
let me look. I don't believe so either, but I don't want to say so until I look.
Yeah.
I
don't see any. So we see another Star Alliance turn. Armory Officer Nell comes down. I'm wondering if we're gonna just have like a sick turn here.
I think he's just setting up.
Oh, yeah, that came down last turn. I'm sorry. I don't
Yeah.
know why I'm delayed. Let me scroll down a
He
little.
used the Jericho to play the jar, then added a Nell, and it's like, yeah, let's go.
Okay, unlock gateway. I apologize. I was down, up. I was up a little.
We still love you.
Oh, good. We see Drekker and Histricog. Am I saying that right? Come down here.
It's good value there, like with those two, because you have basically a creature that can destroy things. You have a Drekker that is really good at running into things, if not when he's not stealing things. So Histricog, pretty good value. This deck just does a lot of good things. Like, there's not really a lot of cards that aren't going to do something, so it's kind of scary. Ooh, Archimedes, that's a twist.
Archimedes comes down. That feels pretty good.
Until he gets pipped and dead.
You always have to be on the negative side, huh?
Yeah.
Double Archimedes.
Double Archimedes is good. Now you can't get rid of both Archimedes at once.
Gotta pop my bubble, don't ya?
He jarred Fervative Investors is what he jarred. Because there's 3 in the deck, so he's just giving them dead weight.
Let's see. So we see QMX come down.
Did he jar Jason? I mean, jarring Jason wouldn't matter here, Dave, because Jason's not playing. It's Ugluk.
We see Umberbot as well as Bot booked in. So that was a huge turn there. Very nice.
Part of him joining the team was so he would not jar like complete members, entire members. I mean, it would be hard for Ugluk to jar everybody because you guys pretty much already had all the jars, right? Like that was like one of the cards you actively sought. So like finding actual good jar decks is pretty hard at this point. Not to mention people who have them probably don't give them up very often. But look at this board state, just getting crazy, getting big.
It is, and knowing that one of the biggest removal cards is already down, the unlocked gateway means there's one in the deck, but most likely it's still kind of buried down there. So this board may not be going anywhere anytime quickly.
Even if SadCryBear is able to get through this game and beat this deck, like I'm not feeling great about his Vault's Blessing, like the deck with the Vault's Blessing, because there's just like there's a ton of mutants in this deck too, so like it's gonna be kind of ugly.
I hate when I say something and then they immediately do the opposite of what I just said. So I thought it was really going to be really hard to find that unlocked gateway, but sure enough, here it is, right in hand, and everything goes.
I mean, that's so, he drew both of his unlocked gateways early, so he's got a puncher's chance here, right? He's throwing blows. So we see Ugluk discarding some cards, plays the Infernus, so we're gonna start to see some weeding action here. Does he?
Yeah.
Yep, he weeds the Archimedes for value and a poke. So strong play there. Sometimes you got to get the card that matters most, right? And Archimedes is definitely a trap since he has 2 of them.
Let's see.
I don't like jar. It has too much spelling.
So SadCry goes Logos, plays down a couple of cards here. Master Theory, Transporter Sandals. Ends turn at 3 amber. Ugluk calls Star Alliance as their active house. I'm like holding my breath to see what this turn is going to look like. Stealthster comes down, as well as a transporter platform. He also plays an access denied onto the Titan Librarian. In ends turn, it looks like. Oh no. Feels bad, man. Furtive investors down the drain. All three, nonetheless. Poor SadCryBear. That would make me want to cry. Lamidra comes down here on the flank. And ends turn on 5 amber.
It's not the place to end.
Ugluk calls Logos and plays down Qmek to draw a card. So, let's see. We do have SadCryBear sitting on 5 amber, and Ugluk is sitting on 0 at the moment. So this is actually going a lot slower than I kind of anticipated these decks to go. But neither one are very draw heavy.
Well, no, you're wrong.
Well,
I
say that. Say that. No, wait.
It was like the Sad Panda is setting up, and once it's set up, it's going to go into full motion, and then you'll see it moving. But until then, it's going to just play the game of
get I was wrong on that. As soon as I said that, I was like, no, never mind.
Never mind. Once Nell comes back around, and
yeah, I was like, oh wait, hold on, this is not what I'm thinking of. This is Logos. Come on, Ren, wake up.
It's okay. We forgive you. At least I forgive you. I don't know about them.
I don't think chat will. We'll see. We'll see what they say.
I saw and I'm assuming that.
Oh, there we go. There we go. Now we'll see some action. Yeah, Justice Blind is like, I don't blame him. Are there tomatoes to be thrown? Okay.
Both decks draw pretty heavy, like when they get moving.
Yeah, I know. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my god, that was wrong.
Nazar is not as fast as Sad Panda, but there is still some things that could accelerate that, as you can see here. It'd be interesting. A and N.
Professor Setterkin. I love that card. It just never works, though. It doesn't ever seem to work.
Yeah. He's like,
yeah. Right. Yeah, Justice. I deserve that. Please throw tomatoes in chat. Can we edit that out? Is there a team for that? I was not thinking of these things.
No, we are non-forgiving live stream. I eat my words all the time. Don't feel bad. No tomatoes. If you hadn't seen the deck before, it's not immediately obvious. That's fair. She did say coming in that she doesn't know mass mutations very well. So, and this is a very disgusting mass mutations deck with the amount of depth that it has. So, there's the control the weak wannabe mark of this, which it's still really good, even though it's not control the weak. It's pretty damn good. It's like right there with it. I don't know if you're familiar with that card, but that card is bonkers.
That's insane.
You guys are making run shy. Stop.
No, I'm sorry. All right. So SadCryBear is going to declare check here.
But will it get through customs? That's the question. Comes Ugluk with the Star Alliance. What kind of gross things will we see? I see a stealthster with a draw pip on it, so there's a good chance it gets brought back as and gets played as an upgrade. So many things that this deck can do. It's gross.
Yeah.
Look, and he's like, he's loaded up the security droid that has a draw pip on it as well. So now he can bounce both of them back and play them as upgrades for 2 more draw cards. This is draw crazy. It's going to be so much drawing if he has like one other creature that he can bounce these back onto. There's the new frontiers to help make sure that he gets to those creatures at some point. This deck just does so many evil things. I think there might be a key given up here, but do not feel that SadCryBear is in a great place. It doesn't look like he's going to give up a key either, because it looks like this is going to be
No.
some bouncy shenanigans here. It's gonna, oh my god, it keeps getting
That amber's just moving.
Oh, like he's going to draw so many more cards now.
Oh my goodness.
It doesn't have any draw.
Yeah, that's, yep, not what I was thinking. Gotta love when you do that, like, with all the decks and stuff.
It's like, whoops.
It doesn't feel good.
Well, that's fair that, like, a lot of the draw comes off of these, like, ambiguous creatures that have draw pips on them. Like I said in the beginning, like, this deck just, like, yeah. I feel like this is a deck that should have got banned, in my opinion, but.
This deck is sick. Watching it play out here.
I guess maybe part of it is like if you don't really know this deck and you haven't really interacted with it or seen it played, it's kind of sneaky. Like, because like I said, a lot of the draw pips are on things that you don't expect there to be draws on, and you don't really maybe see the lines that it can do. But this deck is a very, very gross deck.
Look at this though, having this Hayden with so many upgrades on it.
Yeah, and I can't even see like the card. Like I can barely see the Igor that's like hiding behind there.
I can't. How I have my screen set up, cannot see it.
Double access denied on the Igor. I'm not even sure that was worth it. Say right after the stream, Harlan's getting his bath and going to bed. What you doing?
That is crazy.
Oh, he found a dice.
Okay, Life for Life comes down. Friend, Mac the Knife, and Selvin.
The quality of cards just aren't matching up.
No.
He was able to take out the Oswin, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, considering you could pretty much reach for a key almost, it's a really good thing.
But I have a feeling that it's a short-lived success.
Right. So Ugluk starts out with Logos again with QMech and Vision Blooms.
You're going to see that reverse time for pure value. Pain reaction.
Uses Whale to destroy Selvin, was it?
No reverse time, so. But he does get himself to check for his second key.
It's a good place to sit.
Yeah. TCO problems when you can't see like creatures on the other side because your stack of of upgrades is like so big that it's hindering the ability for TCO without getting super small. Like I've already.
You can see Justice there.
I've already downsized.
Scroll down in the chat so that he can see the action.
Yeah, there you go.
There we go.
SadCry plays Dust Imp, followed by a Soulkeeper attaching it to the Igor.
Unfortunately, Nazar, like as exciting as the deck is just feeling very underwhelming next to
you think?
Next to Sad Panda. But honestly, I mean it's 1-1, 7 and 7 amber, so it's not like he's like out of it or anything. It's just not feeling like the plays just aren't feeling as impactful. They're feeling very reactive. And
he's at 11 amber now. He made a good push here. So
I mean, yeah, like he's really doing it. He's on 11 amber this time around. So
can we see the cheeky knockout? Like maybe he gets there.
Maybe sneaking in a win here. It could possibly happen. It's not like he's that far behind. But
well, we'll see at the end of this turn where he's at. Like
right, that's the key. Is how does this turn end? We know that one Infernus is in the deck and one is somewhere. One is in the deck or in hand, and one is in the draw pile. So that's kind of an interesting note here for Amber Control. What else are we looking at here for Amber Control?
It's not a lot. That's what I said. Like this could be a window to race, like to basically try to get there. But I'm sure there's capture pips somewhere. I don't know exactly where they're distributed, but there's a couple.
But is there enough capture pips to be able to get a mock key here? I'm not sure.
Well, the key here for Ugluk is go to key, right? Like get to key and sit on key, especially now he has played Obsidian Forge as well. That's pretty good. Because now he could just drop creatures and go for value too. Oh, he hits... what did he hit? A Scullion? No, that's not that bad. I'm sure there's better cards he could have hit right there. So we see the Infernus come into play. Pretty good.
Just 2 of his own cards. Drops SadCryBear down to 9 amber here.
Yeah. So that means technically SadCryBear is ahead. So again,
SadCryBear does get that second key. So I mean, he's staying in it. Like the cards don't feel as impactful, but he's right there.
I think he could probably still win this game if he can find a way to check here. Like he has to get to check. Like I don't think he can afford not to get to check. If he gives like every turn that he doesn't go to check and gives Ugluk a chance to get to check, I think is dangerous. But we'll see.
Yeah, I mean that's a tough spot to be in here.
But he does have shadows. Like he does have cards that can kind of tilt it too. So I don't know. Like this is close. This is a lot closer than I expected.
Yeah. It's a very interesting game here.
I don't think the auto encoder has been used enough this game. But I'm not a pro at piloting this, and Ugluk is a much better player than me, so I won't go there with it. But I'm surprised that we haven't seen more auto encoding earlier. Yeah, I agree with your sentiment there, Justice, with you saying that like the encoder goes down in value. But the thing is, though, like there are certain things in this deck that you want to be getting, right? So like you want to be getting into those loops with that transporter platform, and I think getting that set up is worth pitching some decent cards for early on just to get that speed and stuff. Now he's kind of stuck, right? Now discarding things isn't going to give you as good a value because it's too late. Yeah, there you go. I'm gonna go tell him. It's like all you really need to do is get less good decks. If you get less good decks,
good solution to these things.
Yeah, that's the best. Unarmed Goat's my hero.
So we don't see Ugluk get on to key this time. So it passes it over to SadCry, which this should be an interesting turn, like one that you really need to get on. Like if you're sitting in SadCryBears, you really probably need to get onto key here. I mean, there's just probably no other option. So going about that is going to.
This is like a eureka moment, right? Like play the eureka, get to check, then reap a bunch with the Sutterkin and try to get there. Like I think it's
if you have eureka,
there's potential to be dangerous here. Like I kind of dig his position if he could just draw something decent. Because he's got 3 Amber Reaping with the Sutterkin and the 2 guys he has on board. He's got nothing in the graveyard that's going to really have pips. He does have 3 of his pips, though. Like, his pips from Logos are gone, so that was good thinking ahead there to get rid of those.
Yeah, I agree.
So there really are no pips for him to be able to actually play other than the Eureka. So I don't know.
Do we know what he was archiving? I wasn't paying close enough attention.
Yeah, I didn't see what went into his archives.
Okay. I mean, it might be a great chance to at least get a big turn with Logos and see what you can find.
But there's like
trying to get on the key and then hopefully pull into your cards that are going to steal if if he manages not to. So what did we?
Like I said, he purged 3 of his Amber Pips already and an Archimedes. So like he
Mhm.
really doesn't have a lot that he's gonna dig. But by reaping with these 3, like he does put himself on 6+, and he's going to get to basically, put pressure on Ugluk to respond to it. So he's making him
Mhm.
react to him, and that's big. And then if he has a nice Shadows turn to follow this up, I think he wins.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that's what we're seeing go into the archives there. That's my guess. Anyway, I think that's is
like heavy
that
Shadows.
trying to hold those back until those Shadows cards until he sees, the opportunity to make the most value out of them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm guessing we'll see a big turn of in the archives when the time comes. Seeing very good play from both players here. Strong, very strong.
Well, they're mad lads. They can't show up weak.
Who's the maddest of the lads? Let's find out.
I think reputation-wise, Sad is way madder than Ugluk, because Ugluk did it for money. Sad did it just because.
I thought he wasn't mad. I thought he was sad.
He's sadly mad. Sounds like a mumble rapper, and his Pikachu there has or Moorwolf there has glasses on, so might be smack a couple tattoos on his face, and that's a bad Moorwolf.
Ugluk does go with Star Alliance as his active house. We're going to see Survey and Entropic Swirl come down. So big push here for just, I think, as much Amber as he can possibly draw.
Well, he needs to capture is what he needs to get to.
Or capture, yeah.
And there are capture pips there, but will he get to them?
Yeah.
He's surveying. He's trying to set
He's
something.
trying.
Because that Jericho can come back and draw you an extra card. So like if he can survey to where he can get things he wants on top of his deck, there's a chance.
So what you're saying is...
What I'm saying.
I cannot believe that the game came to this. Like, it surprises me with as much control as Ugluk has had the entire time. It felt like that SadCryBear just kind of snuck under the radar and just said, here's my key, here's the key, and now we're sitting here and Ugluk's trying to draw for answers, and that's crazy to me that we're sitting at this point.
Mm-hmm. This deck is harder to pilot than it looks, and I think there'll be some coaching this week. Oh, there we go. Okay, here we go. He's drawing the cards now. Like now, it's like he knows where he's going. Can't sell Ugluk out. He's always got a plan.
Oh, never. It wouldn't be a mad lad if we sold him out here.
He's one of the best planners in the game. Like that's one thing he does really well. He takes his time, he gets himself on his lines, and he basically knocks them out the park. But you got to kind of, I got to pull for SadCryBear to pull this out though, because I really want to see. I want to see game 3.
I know, right? Well, I mean, I think that one thing you can definitely say, which 2 things to point out here, but you can look at this heads-up play on Ugluk's part, because he knew that if Sutterkin came down, there's going to just be so many answers and logos to play with Amber Pips too as well. So that was really heads-up play on that part. But also look at the timing. It's like we're sitting at 9 minutes. It's going to be rough to move into that 3rd game here.
Oh no, there's 30. They have timers per game per game.
Oh, it's per game. Okay, I'm sorry. I apologize. I was thinking it was 30. I was like, that is such a fast Archon.
Yeah,
my bad.
35 per game.
12 of stupid things that Ron said tonight.
It's your first time. It's your first time interacting. It's fine. Don't worry about it. We're having fun. But are you having fun? That's all that matters. As long as you're having fun.
Oh, heck yeah. I'm so glad you guys are having me. So
yeah.
And this play is just, it's fun to watch. Both players are very skilled. It's really, and these decks are just ridiculous.
I heard all the games in the KFPL are pretty skilled. Just a rumor.
Well, I wonder why. Best players in the game, right?
I mean, the best online players. I give it that because playing in person is a lot different. I would never make like a world's best claim, but unless it was online, and then online, that's I guess like this is the format. So, but I wouldn't say like in person because I think there's a lot of differences. There's a lot of things that are automated and like easy to do online that are not the same when you go head to head like on a table. So.
But there are also things that are easier, like finding elusive cards.
Sure.
Things like that. Things that we sometimes forget that are on the cards. When an opponent's like, you can't do that, it's really easy to take that back, but when you're in person, you cannot. So it does look like SadCryBear concedes here, and Ugluk wins the game.
Yeah, it was a tough matchup. It went down the way I thought it would too. But SadCryBear made it as close a game as he could. So kudos to him for that.
I really thought he could pull it out there, but good job to Ugluk for knowing what to do and digging through his deck and finding the answers he needed.
Yep. So there you go. Ugluk takes it down 2-0. He is able to navigate to the win. Like this deck is just so deep in how many pips it has. It's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
That universal translator, just like having an extra creature to be able to put stuff aside, that's what got him there. That one card, like the universal translator, getting onto sequence with the transporter platform. Just like pure value, and I'm pretty sure he dug it out. Like I'm pretty sure that's what all that extra motion in the deck was. So, but that's what this deck does, and it does it really well. So, I think it was a little bit closer than it should have been, but overall, like kudos to those guys. Let's see if we can get them to maybe come talk to us a little bit.
No, that would be fun.
See if they want to hook up and talk with us, and if they do, we will bring them on and see what they say. But all right, SadCryBear's going to join us. Add him to the mix. Ugluk doesn't talk a lot. Yeah, he does. I don't expect Ugluk. Yeah, so let me add me a SadCryBear. Of course, he's not my friend on Discord, so it's gonna be harder to get him on here. But give me a second. But how did you think? How did you think of your first experience, though? Pretty sweet.
Oh yeah, heck yeah! It's really fun. As I said, seeing this caliber of players, these caliber of decks, because there's not going to be too many times you're going to see these monsters play in person. So it's neat to see players that also are very skilled at handling these decks play them. So, and then just having strong players in the chat as well to kind of point out things has been a nice experience as well. So.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to click them into this DM group, and we're going to see if it disconnects us and reconnects us, but we'll be right back if that has happened. Nope, it looks like I was able to pull them in. So here we are. We have the bear with us, the leader of the Moorwolf pack, right?
That's me, although not the leader. I'm just the one that plays the most often.
Oh, fair. So how did you feel going into this week?
It's a rough matchup. I knew the deck lineup that Ugluk had was going to be a bit rough, and he has got a couple of things in his lineup that critically I don't have the tools to deal with. So going in, I expected a ban on Light Tasker right away. Light Tasker has both artifact control, but most notably it has bounce in it. And so I have no cards in my other two decks that can kill a Ghost Hawked, a Ghost Formed Eddy.
Yes, I knew that was a bad choice. So why didn't you ban it then, if it was the case? What made you go with Jason?
I played against both in practice, and Jason is a bit slow. And so if Ghost Form is near the bottom of the deck, have a possibility of kicking a key or two out before.
You're saying Vayne Praetor is a little bit slow because
Praetor's
Jason's double generosity, so that's
Praetor is a little bit slow, and so I think it's heavily reliant on that Eddie key control. And so I know if I can get in front of Ghost Form, basically it's the hope it's on the bottom of the deck strategy. And I have an opportunity in that match. I can remove Eddie with my other deck with Ultra Gravitron, but it's not a very good way to remove it.
Yeah, fair.
And playing against the double generosity, once the double generosity loop hits, it's a game over loop.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's less likely for them to draw one Ghost Form than one of the two generosities.
I was I would think that like with your Shadows lineup and stuff in the one deck, that your matchup against Jason would have been better than trying to beat Vayne. But at the same time, I don't think you had an easy choice on any deck, so I'm not gonna I don't think there was a wrong answer in it, but neither one of us she picked Vayne and I said you probably ban Sad Panda because I thought you might try to use your mass mutation high roll with the Vault's Blessing and just get rid of his best mutant deck, but I don't know. There's a lot of options I guess you had, but none of them were really good ones because his decks are so
none of them are good.
Yeah, when you have 3 monsters you're playing against.
Yeah, and Ugluk played the reverse order. I was really hoping to see the order reversed on play, because the tool set in Nazar is a little bit better in that other matchup, and I would have liked to play Rust in that first matchup if I had the opportunity, just with some of the tools. I had an opening in the second game a little bit. I was a little bit surprised that Eaton's Jar chose Furtive Investors, and so I thought that left me a little bit of an opening in that game. But Eaton's Jar first turn is Valderico plus Eaton's Jar first turn.
Yeah, that was rough. That was definitely rough. And then having all 3 at the same time to discard on what was that, turn 3? I think that felt bad.
I think you picked the favorite investors is simply for the mass amount of dead card it gives you, plus you have to throw away a pip now, so his Infernuses could feed off of him. So not that he would want to do that. That would be the last case scenario, obviously, but that's 3 dead cards in your deck. So that's probably why he went with Eaton's Jar, but we'll never know because Ugluk doesn't like to talk on Discord, which is fair because he's French. He speaks primarily French, so there's not any bad feelings there. Ugluk is one of the best players in the league, period. One of the best players in my consideration, from what I've seen in the world. I'm not sad to say that, and I think you did the best you could against him. I think you tried to Rocky it, but this was a sad ending to a.
I went for it.
Pretty good
one Amber short in the second game, which I'm pretty happy with. So
I thought the second game you were going to get there, but I think he dug out his translator because that was his only out. He had to find that translator and be able to put another creature down in basic. Well, he had the Infernus, but so he could have pushed the Infernus. But I thought you had him on the ropes there, and I think I don't know. I still want to say and this is again, he's a much better player than me. And I'm sure he had a better game plan in head, but I think he didn't make use of his auto encoder early on enough to get himself into the way that deck rolls with the transporter platform. But I could be completely wrong, so usually am.
Well, they're good games and very well played, and I think everybody's going to have a challenging time both with that lineup and Ugluk's coming out playing very, very well. So
yeah, but you did play very well as well. I mean, not to say that you didn't there. So we definitely need to give you a round of applause because you did come in facing some rough, really strong decks there and a really strong player, and you held your own. So
yeah, I mean, Ugluk was almost 50% of the vote for people who who people thought would win this group. So he's definitely a fan favorite because people know that he's just super consistent. I think the most consistent online players I've seen are Ugluk and Fierza. So you have nothing to be you did great. I thought that second game I really thought you were going to take it to game 3 and I was excited.
I did too. Oh, we were rooting for you too so we could see the third matchup.
Joel has added 2 cents to your support and saying that Ugluk is a great player who also draws well. That's almost impossible to beat. So thanks for joining us though. And you have any shout outs you want to give to your team or to your prep partners or whoever?
I would just say shout out to the More Wolfpack. We've got an awesome community here in the Seattle area. Keeping up with our local league and our weeklies have been kept up through all of quarantine, and I wouldn't want to play this game without the community. And so I really appreciate everybody in there. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Joel and to Justin of TTR for loaning me decks for this event.
Okay, so how many of the decks are theirs?
One deck is Joel's, one deck is Justin's, and one deck is mine.
Okay, I was gonna say I recognized Light Tasker. Like I knew where that one came from. I even wore the Snufflegator. I don't know if you could see. I don't know if you watched, but I wore my Snufflegator hoodie in support of you and hoping that Light Tasker would get some love. But kind of knew. I think that's instant ban for you. I think that's easy for you to see the rest of the tournament. Like you're gonna get banned on Light Tasker. Do you even practice Light Tasker?
I do. My plan is to win with my other decks a couple times so that people get scared of them too, and then they let me play Light Tasker.
Yeah, it's not going to happen, I don't think.
No, it's not going to happen.
It's a good dream.
All right. Well, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Say, I got my own little Moorwolf here saying goodbye to you. Angus jumped up on my lap. My little kitty. He's actually huge, but... Anyhow, that's all we got for you guys tonight then. Hopefully you guys tuned in and hopefully you had fun. And that's all we got. So we will be back tomorrow with a doubleheader with Z and myself doing 2 games. We're doing I don't remember who we're doing tomorrow. That's bad on me. But I know it is basically, there are 2 games that we really wanted to see, so we'll see how it goes. Harlan is here trying to eat a pen. Say hi to everybody, Harlan. Say hello. Wave. Wave. Hi. There you go. Here's your pen. Don't eat it. But his metallic pen. But yep, so we are doing games tomorrow. Let me see if I can bring it up. I remember who it is. Because right now I am not pulling that to recollection. But either way, they'll be there. We'll be here. We'll be playing 2 games. Z already left chat, or he would have been already telling us who it was, because I know he knows. They're games that we wanted to see. I think one is Corey Than and Aviator, and the other one is the one that I have 0 remembrance of what it was supposed to be. So, let's see. Z has Anxious Pirate and Fireza. How could I forget that one? That one's like one of my guys. So 6:30 we kick off festivities tomorrow at 6:30 p.m. With Anxious Pirate and Fireza, and so you'll get to see the other guy that I said is like one of the best online performers that I've seen go up against one of my guys who has a very good triad lineup, and then we will see Corey Than, the master of SAS, or I should say the master of DOK, and the Aviator from AVR. So should be a very good time. It'll be a great time. So thanks for tuning in. And Run, why don't you plug yourself one time before we go, and we'll get you back in here on your channel soon.
You guys can find me on Twitter at RBG_RunHeSaid, and you can check me out on Twitch at twitch.tv/RunHeSaid. I stream mostly State of Survival and Hearthstone, but would love to start getting some games going of Keyforge as well. So hit me up on there if you want to come in and play.
I'll be there for you anytime you want to play Keyforge. Not a problem.
I'd like to get that going. Yeah.
All right then. Well, that's us, and we're heading out. So just keep forging, and we'll catch you on the flip side.
Killing machine.